across from whoever.
I am saying that.
Minutes?
Yep, I make a motion to accept the minutes from July 14th, 2020.
I'm second.
All in favor?
I had a question, Garrett and Company, I assume it has something to do with water?
No, I think that's a playground equipment, Garrett and Company.
Yes.
Okay.
There's gonna be there's a sawmill one, too, was last month, but it wasn't as much. Yeah. So I think we're pretty close to being, I've paid all the bills, so they'll show up out of that. But the playground looks really nice.
Has everybody been down there to
Yeah.
see it?
My husband was on his way.
That's right.
And, everybody look
I move to approve the bills from July.
I'll second.
second, all in favor?
I think it goes this way first. We're still backwards.
Yeah, I guess so.
Dodd said he's not coming today, and Everett here's from Howard, so I guess we'll just see them next Thursday.
I think that's Laurie next.
I don't know anything. I know my water was only, what, 58? I don't know. Wasn't much.
So,
13,800 gallons,
Yeah.
which is 13,800, which is a far cry from the high of 79,300. So if you look at the thingy that I gave you, in the first left-hand column under water, that was her water charges for those months that she had the leak. And then in the next handwritten average column that says overage, that was her dollar amount over the $45 base rate. So in other words, in January, her total water bill was $128.25 minus the regular $45 charge, left her with an overage of $83.25, and so on and so forth, all the way down the column.
So prior to that, she'd never had anything
Right.
above her normal rate or.
Right, this shows the overages, everything before that was normal,
Was the average, okay.
as far as we're aware. So, so all of her overages totals down there $829.50, and
And so did we determine that the leak was a city leak or a business leak? It was on the
It was a
outside.
business leak. Wasn't it not on the, it was on your side, right?
Yep.
But it took them extra time to find it, right?
No, you guys told me to wait for 3 months. You missed that meeting. Because we thought it was the meter. And so we didn't do anything. No one touched anything for 3 months.
Because they were waiting for the, to dry out so that they felt safe to dig up the meter. And what months were those that we,
I missed the March meeting, so
so it would have been March,
April, May.
April, May.
January, February, March, December. All in months.
Well, when did it start, January?
Like January. No.
It says,
I don't know.
December 31st.
Well, yeah, it shows on here December 31st, January.
no, December's usage was 10,100 gallons,
Right.
which is what I wrote in at the top.
Okay.
January's usage was 41.7,
41,700.
so that's when leaks started.
Okay, that makes sense.
So in times past, I think we've split it. I
That's
don't,
what I recall.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Which is why I divided it out in that bottom written in part,
Mm-hmm.
in
Yeah,
case that's what you decided to do.
I make a motion to split it with her. For 1475.
So that would be the total.
Yeah, that'd be half.
How are you with that?
I'm not okay with that. Because I waited 3 months, I would have went back there and done. And it's been done. And I'm not scared of the bank. And we offered to go back there and dig. So, yeah.
See, but
Jeff,
I was there.
yeah,
I looked at it.
we didn't see any reason to hold off.
So what do you want out of this?
I don't think I should have to pay any of the overage. Because I didn't know it was my deal. I had it fixed right away when it was my deal.
So when did you initially find it? Did you find it that first month? Is that what threw you off in January when that bill came out, or what?
No, they come down and told me.
And what, that
They
was,
read the meter.
and what month was that?
I
Would
thought
that have been that first
it
month?
must have been in February because I came to the March meeting, is what I'm thinking. Right?
Yeah.
So for February, as far as February goes, we didn't know that there was an issue.
Well, when she came,
But I remember we did talk about the meter in March.
yeah, and we discussed it when she first come in about
Waiting.
something that we didn't know where it was at. I went down and dug the meter out myself. So I knew nothing about it. And,
So I think that just the overage for last month, I'm from the meeting, or whatever last month was. Is it like $145 or, I don't know what it was. That was my time, my deal.
So you're thinking March, April, and May, you shouldn't be done the overage, you just wanted to debate the minimum.
When I was given the okay to it, it was my deal and your deal to fix, and yeah.
So it'd be a little over half basically, because if you're saying that you want to do January, February, and then July or June, and we do the other 3 months, it's just a little over half. Do you want to see what I'm looking at?
Let's see.
Know anything about January getting overage? January.
See, these here show your overages. So we got 83.26 for January, and then 102.50 for February, and then 150 for June. So you came to the March meeting, so that would be these three right here. That was when it was on hold. Am I correct?
That's what I'm
So we
gathering.
didn't know
Yes.
these first 2 months.
Right, because you came to the March meeting, and that's when we told you to put it on, to hold off until it dried out. So we didn't know for sure, anything about it until the March meeting.
We figured it was leaking for a long time, and it really wasn't that January month. I mean, that's not a lot of usage, if it was only 10,000.
Yeah, not compared to.
Yeah.
December was 10,000.
Oh, so.
January is the 41.7.
So January and February, it must have
Oh, so
started
we
in
went a whole
January.
month before I found out.
So it must have started on your
So
sometime
they
in
came and told
January.
you before you realized it on the bill? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they told you,
So we went through a bunch of water.
Because the meter was still turning, we could see the thing turning and it
So we
seemed
went a
like a
whole
lot
month
of usage.
using a lot of water, and I didn't know.
Well, and weren't you guys
check the meter and see how much you just even did overnight when the place was closed.
Yeah, but this is a whole month prior.
Yeah, but we'd only read it once a month. I mean, we didn't know, when we read it that month it gone by, it was like, holy crap, there's something going on, because you couldn't use that much.
Right.
So then we figured, well, we better start keeping an eye on it or something, because.
So that's 6 months, and
I don't know.
I think personally, whatever this bill here is this month, that must be an average usage, and so I think that's what you need to pay is what is this month, what this month's reading is.
Which was 13,800 gallons. So there
That
was,
would be an average, I mean, that's what you use now, and that's probably, what you use probably
Normal.
close, normal. Yeah. Instead of these where it was leaking and nobody looking at it. Yeah.
So we didn't have one for sure the month before that, but we kind of, it's a lot of water to go through for 2 months before we knew anything.
Yeah, there's 6 months there that,
well, there was two, so January, so when did you guys go and let her know there was a problem?
After January, we
So
thought.
February
super
is when
high.
basically-
So the bill came out in February, yeah, so.
So to me, it should be February, March, April, May. Right? What do you think about that?
well, there's 6 months right there that shows that.
So then that would be,
Whatever you guys figure out, it's fixed.
well, so if we did January and June, then it would only be,
No, we'd be doing February, March, April, May. She would take care of January and June.
I know I'm adding up January and June, so
Oh,
what
okay.
it would be 233.26.
That you would pay and we'd pay the rest. Would you be okay with that?
That works.
Okay,
Perfect.
so the city pays for February through May, is that what you said?
February, March, April, May, yeah.
Shouldn't I pay a minimum of those months though?
I'm just speaking
Well,
of overage.
overage,
The
yeah.
overage.
So we'll take care of the overages for those
Those
months,
4 months.
and then you would just pay, because nobody knew about it for sure in January, and then it was on hold, because we figured it out in June is when we got figured out, so the overage would technically be still, so that would be, what did I say? 233.26.
Where are you getting that number?
I added the 150 and the 83.26.
Oh, that she would pay, okay.
That she would pay, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was figuring out what she would pay.
I will, let me do it all up and then I will tell you what your balance is.
Perfect.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we pay February, March, April, May 2020 of the overage.
And she's responsible for,
And she's responsible for January and June.
I would second.
We have a
Okay.
motion and a second, all in favor? Passes.
And the fire hydrant's fixed and looks good, it's nice.
And it
Why
works.
are you laughing?
is it a new one?
It's brand new.
Good.
That one was broken, right?
Yes.
Is it rebuildable broken?
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's too bad.
We tried to cut it out of there with a cutting torch, but it's made out of
That's
certain
fine.
kind of metal,
Ductile.
ductile metal. And so we talked to Albright's down at the water plant, they took one out there and used a hot saw to cut it out, so. It's there as protection, like if someone tries to run into the other one, it'll stop.
That's the plan.
You already know which one to hook into.
Perfect. Okay. That's it, huh?
Hopefully we're good with, hopefully all your water service will last for another 20 years.
Oh, it should, it's all the backs replaced, it's all brand new, except for whoever else is not good. Thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
a good day.
I love it.
Okay, to a former counselor and Stephanie Bonner. to take care of our responsibilities for
You can tell me she's fine.
So she comes recommended by
Dodd.
Dodd.
So Dodd sent me 3 people that we could basically contact and more or less choose from. One of them referred us to someone else, and then she and another lady were on Dodd's initial list, and they all kind of emailed back and said, this is what we do, and so we read through them, and we thought that Stephanie looked like she would be a good fit for us, and I've already contacted her just in case everything goes through and she can have the bond election ordinance done by next Thursday and all that stuff to keep the ball rolling right along. So, and I included in your packet her information so you can learn more about her and her firm.
Seems pretty knowledgeable.
I think so.
I move that we accept Stephanie Bonney as our election bond counsel.
Second.
I second.
motion and a second.
Sure, you're right down.
All in favor? Passes.
I did, didn't I?
So do we need a motion to table Josh's thing,
I don't
or?
think we can.
Well,
make
he
a
gave
motion.
me
Oh, did he?
a price list.
Is that the whole road, or is that just, say?
Well, this is how they-
Stretch to by Chantel's and then,
Yeah, so from Chantel's house down the road to the little cul-de-sac by Josh's house.
That's a long ways.
So he thinks the company he talked to quoted for 800 feet, $1,440, and for 400 feet, $720.
Can you say that again, please, Justin?
Sure, 800 feet is $1,440, and 400 feet is $720. But now, so Josh is requesting this because I guess there's a person that drives up and down that road several times a day at high speed, and Chuck Hammond said that when he created that subdivision, there's some clause that the city is responsible for maintaining that road, and I don't know what all. But I wasn't in on that part. But Chuck Hammond said that to Josh.
And do we have record of that anywhere?
If I had known something about that, I would have
Sorry.
looked for it.
I didn't shoot. But the other thing too is Charles Burke called and completely randomly and also wants his road dust abated because the trucks go by his house down on Railroad and he's getting dusted out down there.
Man, it sucks living on a gravel road.
So anyway, I did mention to Dick earlier, Dick said that he thought it would have to come out of the road's budget, the street's budget. So just a side note, I did already talk to Tim at Herco, who is working up a bid as we speak for doing chip sealing on all the up and down roads in town. So I gave him a number, but they're gonna give us options on which, they're gonna give us 4 different options for price and on what we wanna do, so, I mean, this is all flexible, but I'm just saying, I'm not advocating this for this necessarily one way or another, but,
Do we plow it?
yes.
So Herco would do the dust abatement when they come out to do the chip sealing.
No, it's a totally separate
Oh,
company.
it'd probably be liner, right?
What's
Line
that?
of dust control.
I don't know, I asked Herco when they were here if they did dust abate, and he said no, not
Okay.
normally.
I thought that's what you were saying.
So
So-
we did that work, we just had linemen come in and do the front half of the yard.
Okay. Josh
That
said he
didn't
was gonna
hold up
write
very
down
well
how
with
many
the
forms, but
machines.
he didn't, so I don't know who does it.
It didn't hold up very well?
It's not holding up very well with the machine.
That's
Again,
who
that's
does
the first time it's been
That's
done,
who does it up on the hill and it holds up this fine.
but it needs a couple of years of coating for it to have something to work with.
So, I'm wondering, I don't know if there's some other more permanent solution we can do instead of dust abatement every year. Like possible, I don't know what it would cost to pave just that little section. if it would be worth paving, or,
Well, I can tell you Josh will jump up from his table and give you a hug if you mention that to him.
well, Ryan's not here.
So what I'm saying is he's brought that up before, but I don't know about paving railroad. I think if we did, we'd have to use some of that highway recyclable stuff
Yeah.
because, I
That
mean,
is nothing but river rock down there,
Well,
and so the
yeah,
truck
trucks.
it just works like this.
Yeah, railroad, I think, is a lot shorter,
it's a lot shorter.
I would be more apt for dust abatement that, because it's not gonna get near the traffic, but if this particular individual's just driving up and down the road, I mean, they used to do it at the landfill, and you drive on it so much and it's gone. So I'm just wondering, is it worth the city's money, or is it better spent to try to pave that section and just dust abatement where there's less traffic, it'll last longer?
Okay. yeah.
I don't know, this is just
I don't know
a
if that's
thought.
totally up to you guys.
If you could put your dust seal down up there for a couple of years,
It'll
it
calm
packs down and a chip seal would last much longer.
Builds a crust over it.
Yeah.
Well, and
Yeah,
we would have to budget
it
for
turns,
that.
You would have to.
it gets
Same
hard.
with you, here and there, and
It
then,
turns hard. To where even the road grader can't touch it.
Yeah.
In front of that farmhouse up here, the road grader can't even scrape it.
Yeah.
With the dust abatement?
Yeah.
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 Of course, they've been putting it on every year for several years.
Yeah, it takes a few years of getting it done annually to build up that crust.
Yeah.
She gets pretty hard.
And it packs down tight, and the gravel let it flying, and it lets it pack.
Well, it's definitely a lot cheaper than paving.
Yeah. Yeah.
$1,440 for 800 feet. I mean, that's almost three football fields long. That's
Yeah.
quite a ways. But, I mean, it's totally up to you guys. You can table it, you can think about it, you can get more bids.
There's only two people that live down there, right? Josh and Chuck Hammond?
Yeah, well, Chantel lives on the coast.
Okay.
She's on the edge of it, yeah. And she's far enough away from the road.
So who's driving?
Yeah, who's,
Jeremiah Hammond drops his kids off in the morning, comes back at lunch, leaves at lunch, comes back at night, and he's
He's
driving.
the one that drives that
gold Dodge.
car truck too,
Yeah.
isn't he?
Well, I think you might be thinking Rob,
Oh.
that Rob dude. But,
so I'm wondering why, and Josh says he's driving fast,
yeah.
his Chuck talked to his kid and told him to slow down?
He's not a kid though.
Oh, I knew, he was younger than me, so he's still.
I don't know, but that could be approached that way too. I mean,
I would have concern just doing this if we haven't done something like, as Josh called the sheriff's department, if we know who this person is.
Yeah.
Like when the sheriff was here, he said, if you can get a plate or have a name, we'll go send a deputy and go talk to the guy and say, hey, slow down. I think to just jump and pay this, I'm sure the dust is very frustrating, but I guess my concern is, one, we have one bid, I don't know anything about seeing,
Right.
but I don't know if that's a good deal or not.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
two, I think there's some steps that could be done beforehand. If people know what the vehicle is, who he is, and exactly when he's there, they could request a deputy, sit there and be like, yep, that's him. And, I mean, I think there's options before we just jump in and spend $700 to
Who
$1,400.
does that up on the hill?
Lyman's.
Lyman?
Yeah, they just did that at work.
I don't know of anybody else that does it.
And if Chuck has proof
Yeah,
that the
Illinois,
city was to take
everything.
care of it, I would like to see
They're out of
that.
Spokane, right?
Yeah.
I think they're out of Coeur d'Alene. I'm like,
Yeah, they're all Spokane or Coeur
Well, I move that we table the dust abatement on Meadow
Yeah,
Drive
it's called
and
Lyman.
see if Chuck actually does have proof that it is the city's responsibility.
Might have to go, I think they're out of Coeur d'Alene, or Raptor or something like that.
I would second.
Yeah.
All in favor?
And then can you send I don't know if we
I
need,
have no idea.
if Justin, you can talk to Chuck, or if the city needs to send him a letter and find out
Yeah, I wrote it down.
where he has this.
I'll see if I have anything, I mean, there should be something in the office if it exists, but if not, I can.
Well, that way there we would know for sure, because if it does exist, then we're just gonna have to do something, but if it doesn't, then we can, and I think that you might mention to Josh, like what what Jeff said
Yeah, I
about
think that's a good idea too.
Besides,
talking to the sheriff.
plowing snow, has there been any other maintenance that the city has done to that road? That you know of, just like gravel or anything else to it?
I think Josh has used a tractor on it one time.
Prior to Josh, has anything been
Oh,
done?
prior to Josh?
Well, because
Oh.
Josh lives there now,
Yeah.
obviously he's going to try to take care of it, but prior to Josh, was anything ever done to it? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I mean, we can ask Frank, but I don't know if Frank and Bill or whoever ever did anything up there or not.
Okay.
But I know Chuck Hammond built like 3 houses up there, and he just kind of kept moving out around the hill. So maybe he did have some sort of arrangement that
Right.
if he developed this area that the city would maintain, I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, that's just what I heard. Is that it for Josh?
Yeah.
Okay, so my staff report, I went and made it to the driver's license office, so I have my 2020 CDL. Need to take my test, I'll try to do that before the next city council meeting, and then we can do some driving.
Okay.
Sweet.
Does that sound good?
Yep.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, because I know as it gets closer to October, November, the days are limited up there, that they will allow tests because of the road conditions.
Okay.
So, once the snow flies, it's up to them if they,
Okay.
feel safe enough to take it. And with new drivers, you never really want to take them out on a snowpack road anyway, but yeah, as soon as you are ready, just let me know and we'll go over the pre-trip and we'll go do some driving.
Okay. I was also informed yesterday that they're going to be playing fall ball on the baseball field. So it's baseball, and so I'm meeting with Mike, Boyer, yeah, I was trying to think of the gravel place, Mike, to spray the field Thursday morning with the broadleaf spray, and then he's gonna rototill and work up all the ball, diamonds and all that kind of stuff to get that all ready. So it's not a high school, I mean, it's gonna be high school kids, but it's not a school function. Does that make sense? It's outside the school.
And it's just the boys.
What's the boys?
Just boys.
Yeah. And we got the hydrant down at the store, and the fire department is very happy with the pressure. There's a lot, it's working on well, so that turned out good. They also, do you guys want to talk about the hydrant across the river? Is that your
It's in.
talking point?
Yeah, and if you look at your spreadsheet there,
Yeah.
the pressure is unbelievable.
Yeah, so there is now a used hydrant across the river at our valve, and it's off the side of the road, and it looks really nice over there. Clifford painted the hot hydrant already. It's
Somebody
yellow.
dumped gravel on it.
What you
Somebody's
say?
gonna get there.
Oh, on the hydrant.
After I painted it, they dumped the rock on
It
it.
wasn't us, it was all Bryce.
I told you.
So anyway, that's in, and then, the water plant is running almost 24 hours a day right now. It's working well, our new controls and everything are working. It seems like I had one more thing, but I'll let everybody else go and then I'll come back. Oh, the siren. So the siren, I've been working on the siren. I've turned it on and left it on, and it didn't go off at midnight, which I was afraid it was going to. I pressed the button at the fire hall several times. I can't get it to go off. And I checked the programming. So
It's in the
the phone lines are working because you guys have dial tone at the fire hall.
Yeah, but there's 2 separate pairs for that push button.
So they're not
They're
3700 and they're not 3701.
No,
So then I need to
there's
get
4
with Bonney
pairs.
and find out what telephone numbers we're being billed for down at the fire hall on our telephone bill. Because I have no idea what those telephone numbers
No, there's 4 pairs of phone lines down there. 2 pair are dedicated for the siren. There, you gotta have a pair for each siren.
Right,
And then 3700, 3701 is phone service.
right, but those 2 pairs will have a phone number associated to them.
The way I was explaining to me, no,
They won't?
no.
Well, anyway.
We have to dig up Jerry Brown and find out how this was set up. He's the one that designed it.
Jerry Brown.
He's the one that designed it, and it was never explained to me other than a brief description.
Would it help to call TDS?
I would.
Either TDS or Phil, the only other person that might know is Phil Phil's kind of one of our electricians, he works on the water plant, the sewer plant, he's really, really good.
Phil is excellent with siren stuff.
Oh, he is? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, he's really good, so maybe I'll give him a call if I am just stumped.
Might need to call Neil too.
I was wondering when the siren is.
I was just waiting for it to go off at midnight, I was like, it's gonna go off at midnight. I was terrified it was going to.
You might have to call Neil also.
Okay, at TDS?
Yeah.
Okay.
He
So that's
he wouldn't be as
decided.
bad.
I don't know if you know.
Since hydrant seems to be the meal deal of the evening, I finally got a spreadsheet done and a total inventory of our hydrants. And I just gave him 3 copies of it. We have 41 hydrants now. And every one of them's been pressure tested and numbered. So we have a complete inventory. It only took 2 years to do it, I'm sorry.
Hey, it's done.
Then the local cotton putting graffiti on them.
I had a question for Mike. Did you guys check into the subscriptions and stuff?
This is gonna be a project.
Okay.
It's gonna be a project.
We have to get a hold of,
We got to get a hold of the ISO
ISO guy.
guy in Boise. He's the one that sets the ratings. I've been collecting information from my insurance agent, and we're also gonna need to get with the fire marshal's office. And tentatively, I'm supposed to be off work next week, so I might have some uninterrupted time during business hours to make these phone calls.
Perfect. Thank you.
Then we also need to go pay a visit to the neighbors. There's 3 or 4 districts around here that do have subscription services, and we need to investigate what their formula is for charging. Part of it is going to be based on square footage of the dwelling, and then so much for outbuildings. And while we're at it, in hopes of creating a win-win situation, maybe we can convince those people across the street to petition for annexation into the city. Instead of...
some said yay, some said nay. I talked to quite a few of them over there. The old women walking, they didn't want it at all. I thought they were gonna.
Maybe you need to charm them a little more.
I thought they had their dogs and the huge pit bulls, and they were gonna stick their dogs on them. Yeah, they weren't interested.
But this is gonna be a project, because we have not delved into that. We're just in the get your toe in the water stage.
But now, yeah, where hydrants there, we have something to work with.
Perfect. Thank you.
The cornerstone is there.
Well, next time there's a fire across the road,
I
just
got
don't.
something, I can't remember. You said you're gonna be off of work?
I am supposed to be.
Does that mean the mill's gonna be
No.
shut down?
No.
All he does is drive around.
It's so loud up there.
I'm sorry.
You guys should be able to put a buffer on that thing.
We have foam packed down there and such.
You have a phone pack?
Yeah.
Cause I
Colin did that after you and him had a little discussion. Supposedly it dropped the decibel level down at your house. Because they had the company safety guy standing out there in front of your house with.
well, yeah, but he's gotta be up on our lawn, can't be down.
Oh, well, that's trespassing though.
Come over, I'll let.
Okay.
You'll stick your little dog on it.
The ankle biters.
The newsletter is, news from Juliet is due this weekend. If anybody has anything they think should be added to the newsletter.
Did we put in there about the possibility of canceling the lighting ceremony? Still looking for donations though, because, I mean, we still, hopefully, we still want to light the park, but we might not be able to have the ceremonies. We're still looking for donations and all of that, even if we have to save them for next year, give us a little grander comeback year.
Someone was asking me whether or not the Blackfoot Festival, if they could have a virtual car show.
I think that's a good idea.
That's what they wanted, yeah.
We were trying to find someone to, like a webmaster type person to put something like that together, but
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Desmond is like the only one that kind of is pretty good with the computer, but.
I've had two, well, one, Dan Salter, he lives in, where is he live now, Arizona or somewhere. I think he should have a virtual car show.
Yeah,
Someone else has.
I brought it up too, because, you know, I thought we should still do a shirt too, but
Yeah,
the
I
board
love this
is.
shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're having the public hearing next Thursday for the wastewater treatment plant facility plan. I sent all of you the agendas for that. So that'll be next Thursday at 7, and then the budget hearing will be the following Monday, so on the 24th at 7, which you have that agenda too. And the wastewater one, it has been published, and the budget one will be published. Should be this Friday and this Saturday and next Saturday. So that will be in the newspaper and obviously in the window.
The only thing I have is, I got an email from CASEL, our program. I guess the president signed something about payroll taxes, but they're not sure what's gonna happen, and they're gonna defer, thank you. Payroll taxes, September until the end of December, but you would repay that back in 2021, and half of it, and then the other half in 2022. I've been trying to get on the internet and read up on it, but it's kind of up to, not up to CASEL, but hopefully CASEL will come up with some kind of program where if the employees don't get paid their taxes and they get a bigger paycheck, that somehow we can make sure that we keep track of that. So that when it comes time to pay for that, I know, hey, I just joined what, so it was really weird to, yeah.
So it's a done deal that's happening.
I don't know if it's a done deal.
I've done.
Yeah, I don't know,
Yeah.
over the next 2 years.
Yes, but I just wanted to let you guys know, because it starts September 1st, but the big thing is that our next meeting is until like September 11th.
Middle of September, yeah.
So, you know, you won't find out about it until after. So, but I'm not sure how they're gonna affect the state and city people. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we still have to take our taxes. I don't know how it's gonna work.
Optional.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of keeping my eyes open and seeing what's happening. So, and if nothing more, I'll talk to Dick. And that's it, that's all I got. Your turn.
I move to go
You're here all the
into
time.
executive session pursuant to Idaho Code 74-206 subsection 1B.